Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to our channel where I dive into inspiration, motivation, coaching, and all things spiritual. I was reflecting on a personal experience I had recently that I wasn't really feeling valued or appreciated in my career. And it made me think of the powerful Bible verse, Matthew 7:6, where it says, "Do not give dogs what is sacred. Do not throw your pearls to pigs. If you do, they may trample them under their feet and turn on you to tear you to pieces." And as I was reflecting on my personal experience, I realized that sometimes we are doing that very thing and not realizing that's what we're doing. Sometimes we get so fixated on the prize or the outcome or winning people over that we don't realize that the people we're trying to win over are not necessarily ever going to be won over. And it's not because it's anything that has to do with us and whether or not we're valuable or whether or not we are talented or if we're deserving or lovable or just worthy overall. And what it comes down to is exactly what this Bible verse says. Like, why would you give a dog a valuable? Why would you give a pig a pearl? They don't have the capacity to appreciate them because of their nature. A dog's nature and a pig's nature, they are not intellectuals, or they're not necessarily going to appreciate. They have no use for. That's what it is. They have no use for. And they have no understanding of the things that you're presenting before them. So if you give a dog or a pig something such as a valuable or a pearl, what would they do with it? They would discard it, trample over it, and then they may be a little agitated with you, like, what is this? Why would you give this to me? I don't need this. I don't want this. Take this back. Give me something that I value, that I want, that I need, right? And so when you take this and apply it to your real life and dealing with individuals, you realize that some people's nature isn't like your nature. And there's like the kingdom of light, where God's children that dwells in the kingdom of light, they have a specific love language. But then there's God's other children that dwells in the kingdom of darkness, and they have a particular love language. And I don't want to like separate people from good and evil and dark and light, but in reality, sometimes we're just not in alignment with our frequencies, with our values, with what's important to us, what we have the capacity to understand and appreciate. And sometimes simply like IQ levels, like sometimes people just don't understand. And it's not to put anybody down and say one person is better than the other. The truth is, God made this world filled with all kinds of people in it in order to make it run efficiently and effectively. And everybody has their strengths and things that they do well and things that they can appreciate and understand. And everyone is going to value you and appreciate your unique gifts, and that's okay. And what I realized is that sometimes people are put in our lives not so that we can prove that we are worthy to them, but so that they can reflect back to us a mirror of our own limiting beliefs and the fact that we have come into agreement with the idea or the belief that we need validation from someone else. So I call to you to examine your life and your relationships, yourself at the workplace, and see where have you come into agreement where you feel you are not being appreciated, you're not being valued. And then ask yourself, do I need that from someone else, or do I need to know that for myself? Do I need to know that I'm valuable? Do I need to know that I'm good enough, that I deserve better? Because once you know that, and then you act accordingly, your life will transform, because either the people who do not appreciate you or value you will be moved out of your life, or they will conform in order to remain in your life. But you don't have to kick, scream, and cry and complain to get that. You have to shift in your mind and understand and know that you are valuable and that you are deserving. And another way to interpret this is like trying to speak Japanese to someone who speaks French. No matter how vital the information is, no matter how much the French-speaking person needs the information, no matter how much it would change their life and help them, there's a language barrier there, and they just simply don't understand. And no matter how hard you try to speak Japanese to them, they will never get it. You will have to find someone that speaks their language in order to get them to see maybe. However, why? Why do you try so hard to convince people of things that they don't have the ability to understand? Move on. If it's meant for them to get it, they'll get it from somewhere else. And another way to say this is like, if you have a gallon jug and you have a pint-sized jug, the pint-sized jug, no matter how hard it tries, will never be able to fill the gallon jug. It just doesn't have the capacity. It has limitations. And if you take the gallon jug and pour it into the pint-sized jug, and you pour all that's in the gallon jug into it, it will overflow, and it will be too much. It will be overbearing. It will spill out. It will cause waste. If you are a gallon-sized person, stop wasting yourself, wasting your talents, wasting your gifts, wasting your unique abilities, trying to pour it into pint-sized people that don't have the capacity to accept, receive, or even understand what it is that you're trying to give them, okay? Find people who value you, who appreciate you, who have the capacity to know that your unique abilities and gifts, your love, your personality, your intelligence, and whatever it is that you bring with you. Find people who can mirror back to you that they see you, they understand you, they hear you, and that you matter and they value you. And stop trying so hard to convince people that don't see you to see you. And see yourself clearly. And once you know who you are, know how valuable you are, know how deserving and lovable you are, you won't have to ask anybody else to see it, because you'll just exude it, and they will either conform or they'll move on. So thank you for joining me today. And if you found anything inspirational, motivational, or inspiring, remember that you are worthy and you are loved. And come back next time. Until then, keep spreading your light.